Hi there. I'm here to talk to you today about shift nursing goals. As you enter into Allume and you begin the role of a shift nurse, we have a basic format for what our goals look like. Now, for every nurse, it could be a little bit different, and just as every career path is a little bit different, but this will give you a general idea for what some standard basic rule goals are for shift nurses. It's also an indicator of our basic expectations of what your supervisor and mentor will be helping you to grow into. So when you first begin with Allume, we want to support you in having goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, because when you have that kind of clarity, it makes it easier for you to do your job and know that you're doing it well. And so we've built these specific goals around helping you feel clear. And it's been proven, as a matter of fact, that employees are much happier when they know what's expected and they know what the goals are, and are given a path to create success in those goals. So that's our hope, is that we can create that clarity, and also by creating that clarity, be sure to design an education and a supervision program that supports these specific things that we are looking for. So in the first 90 days, and so if you're a new employee and you're just getting started, welcome. We're so excited to have you. This is what's expected for a shift nurse in the first 90 days. So we want you to first complete the Allume orientation, the competency evaluation, which includes the leveling process. We want you to have success in completing the training and any mentoring and shadow shifts that are required. So this has to happen before you go into the field. So you also need to complete your new hire checklist, which is a list of items that need to be completed for our compliance of HR files. And so we want to make sure that you are all prepared with that. We also want you to know that we're going to continue to train with you over the first 90 days pretty intensively. In the first 90 days, we don't expect you to know everything right from the beginning, which is why we want to continue to have education be given to you over time. So we will be giving up to an hour of paid training per week during your first 12 weeks. So the second thing we would like to be able to support you in doing in your first 90 days is learn to document using our electronic medical record system and or our paper system. Depending on who your patient is, we might have two different options or different mechanisms to document. So we want to have you feeling successful in being able to document correctly in compliance and in support of the care plan within those 90 days. And so we want to make sure first and foremost you're complete with your documentation within 24 hours of your shift, and that's so you don't miss anything. How can you possibly forget or remember what happened in a 8-hour period of caring for a patient if you're not documenting really as you go? We want you to have your documentation complete within 24 hours and turned in. Review and return any documents flagged for QA from QA by within 24 hours. It is not going to be uncommon for a new employee to have a lot come back to you. You submit your notes and then have QA review them and identify areas for improvement. Don't take this personally. This isn't being critical. This is an opportunity to learn and align and to better serve and support your patient. So be open to this response and to any additional training that gets provided to you or recommended to you as a result. So be on the lookout for QA. Don't be surprised by it. See it as a way of being mentored and supported, and please turn around any requests for changes or for improvement or further definition within 24 hours. And we want just to see you demonstrate compliant, satisfactory documentation pretty consistently by the end of your first 90 days. The third goal is to participate in a committed care team of 1 to 2, usually 1 at first, medically fragile patients, and learn the clinical skills needed for that specific patient. So you want to review the plan of care with your clinical care manager prior to your first shift, and then you want to deliver that care according to care accordingly according to that plan of care. It's very important that you know that plan of care inside and out, that you refer to it, that you look back at it every time you go into the home, and you check for any changes that might have come about since you were last in the home. Very, very important to really focus on in the first 90 days on the specific plan of care for that patient that you're caring for. Number 4, learn to participate effectively on your assigned care team. So first you want to know the plan of care for the patient, but then you also need to understand that you're working in conjunction with a team of people. And so, the care that you're giving involves the family, it involves the environment that you're in. So you want to successfully complete your shadow shifts with your mentor or supervisor within the scheduled time frame. Show up, be on time, be prepared, be appropriately dressed, be ready to go. Reach out to your case manager and supervisor after your first 3 shifts. Or during, right? If you're having questions anytime, you can always pick up the phone, call your clinical care manager, call the nurse on call. But first 3 shifts, make sure you get in the habit of reaching out to your supervisor. It's not their responsibility to reach out to you. It's your responsibility to reach out to them. It's important in the first 90 days that you get into the habit of reaching out to your supervisor. And that's because you want to really sort of build it into your mind that you're not alone when you're in the home. You are not alone. You have a team, and it's your need, your habit that needs to be built to reach out to the people in the office, including your case manager, clinical care manager, to get the support you need. So we make it an important goal, an expectation that gets set, that you reach out for sure after the first 3 shifts, and then you reach out at least weekly to build good rapport and communication so there can be trust, so you can know when it's appropriate to call, so you can really develop a relationship with them and get the support you need. In case something happens, it will be your first response to reach out to that person and to know what's going on and to have a sense because they have a relationship with you and the patient. Successfully report to the next caregiver at the end of each shift. Very important. It's important you also document it. It's part of what's required when we get surveyed by the DPH. They look for that communication, and it's essential that you not only do it, but that you demonstrate that you did it. Participate in a monthly interdisciplinary team meeting for your patient. So your clinical manager will be distributing the timelines for when that'll happen and what's being asked of you and how you participate. If you can't attend, then it's important that you fill out paperwork and contribute your input to your clinical care manager prior to the meeting every month. That is an expectation. So in the first 90 days, you're just kind of getting used to it. After that, we'll expect you to really contribute more. Number 5, demonstrate the ability to handle emergent situations. This is so important because we want to make sure from the very first day you're out in the environment taking care of a patient that you know what to do if something starts to go wrong with the patient. So handling emergent situations is super important. During your mentor shift, you'll review all emergent procedures for your patient, and on each shift you want to make sure everything is in place in case an emergency should happen. That's number 1 most important goal really for the first 90 days. Identify ways to improve wellness and care-being of your patients by contributing to their curated care plan, a plan of care specifically designed for your needs. So this is part of the education you'll get in the first 90 days. It's more information about what the curated care plan is. It'll be part of that education. But just start to know, like, you're looking for ways to support the family and looking for ways to support the patient beyond just what is in the clinical plan of care. Ongoing. So then every 6 months, starting with 6 months after you begin and 6 months from there on out, you will be working with your mentor or supervisor to build and review your goals. And goals for a shift nurse will look something like this series of goals here. So first you want to effectively document. Okay, we talked about that before in the first 90 days. Again, all documentation within 24 hours. get it back returned if there is anything with QA. You want to, after 6 months and as time goes on, we should see fewer and fewer needs for quality assurance checking. If there's a lot of returning and you've been with us for a year, there's probably something not quite right, and we're asking you to drill into being a little more diligent, a little more detail oriented, or perhaps there's certain things that you're missing, clinical skills that need to be upgraded. Next is you might see that your supervisor identifies specific things in your documentation related to the way you document in the continuous care note, the way you do the narrative. Could be specific things related to the MAR or TAR, or controlled substances. It could be any of those types of things. Improve documentation in a specific way that maybe you're needing to up-level. Also, participate effectively in your assigned care team. So again, we want to maintain that it's important for you to continue to have good communication with your case manager. So your case manager, your clinical care manager or supervisor may feel that the level of communication that they're receiving from you needs to increase. And so they may give you a goal for how many times a week or how many times a month they want to hear from you, just in the habit of being in connection. They're also going to talk to you about your participation in interdisciplinary team meetings. Of course, there's the goal to show up. There's also the goal to participate. There's the goal to, if you can't be there, to communicate that you can't be there and to provide your inputs in another way that they recommend. They might also talk to you about giving report to the next nurses, also reporting anything else, or any other communication, any other care coordination that maybe is not up to the level that we would like. Other goals could be work together with your supervisor to support you in developing a career plan. Some of you will be very happy to stay where you are. Others will want very clearly to level up, to move forward. So have this opportunity to talk about goals to level up. Maybe you're a level 1 nurse and you and your supervisor determine that it's a good idea for you to level up to a level 2. Maybe there's specific plans to receive additional education, videos to watch, additional mentoring that you might want to do, or shadowing. So those might be some specific goals. It also might be that we agree that you would be great to have on the team more often, to have you go from 2 shifts a week to 3. And so what would be the steps to help you do that? Other areas would be plans to develop your mentoring and leadership skills. So maybe it's time for you to level up to be a senior shift nurse or a mentor. And what does that look like? What would be the next steps for you to do that? What are some skills, maybe some communication, some leadership skills that would help you to, maybe you're great clinically and you're good with the patient, but how do you help to mold and develop others? As well as just understanding, having a conversation. What are your career aspirations? Making it known and allowing us to be a part of your journey so we can support you and align with your personal goals. Other goals that could be on here is participate in a committed care team of 1 to 2 medically fragile patients, learn specific clinical schools. So this could be where you need to improve in your adherence to the plan of care in specific ways. You need to improve clinically in specific ways, whatever ways that are specified by your supervisor. Demonstrate the ability to handle emergency situations. So there might be specific things that the supervisor identifies for you to improve in, specific emergency preparedness activities that need additional support or check, improving the handling of emergent situations. Maybe you review some situations that happened in the past and some things that you review together that you see, okay, in the future, what could we do to make this a safer situation even for our patient? Or how could we improve communication in an emergent situation? So again, here we have this identify ways to improve the wellness through the curated care plan. So there might be opportunities for you to look deeper at the whole aspect, the holistic aspect of the patient as well as the family. The other areas would be to set some goals related to our culture, our remarkable care culture. So it might be that we want you to get more involved. So maybe there's some specific things that you could do in the next 6-month period that would indicate that you're getting more involved and more connected to our culture. And then as a result, you're getting the benefits of being part of the culture. So maybe attend a certain number of events, or maybe to participate in 2 book clubs, or maybe to attend an innovation roundtable, or an event in the office. So setting some goals around that. It could also be around the Remarkable Care Awards. So you might review how you've done in the last 6 months, and did you get the attendance award? Did you get the fill-in award? Did you get the in-services on time award, or the notes on time award? Did you get it every month out of 6 months, or just 2 months? And so what would be the goal for this coming 6 months to see you getting those awards each month? So these are some of the example of ways that we would set goals with you, that your supervisor or mentor might work with you. There might be other things as well that you come up with together, but this is the basic guidelines and the basic approach. So I hope this is helpful to you, to help create clarity and to help you feel empowered in your role. As always, we're looking for feedback and ways to support you. And so we look forward to supporting and serving you. And give us a call if you have any questions. You can let me know if you have any questions. Talk to your clinical care manager or HR as well. Have a great one, and go make the world a better place.